8 hours.
Okay. Guys, so today we're going to continue on with what we did last week with the day 2. I need to clarify a few things because as I went through and graded, or started to grade the assignment where you're supposed to list off what evidences you guys collected and how you're going to collect them, I only gave points to 2 groups out of all the ones I corrected, because only 2 groups completed the assignment. Most everybody else that turned it in, you guys just gave me a list of what evidences you were going to collect. Okay? Now there's a reason why we are asking for you to describe how you're going to be collecting the evidences. Both of your partners need to be aware of how you're going to collect them and how you're going to manage it, because you're working together. If both of you are working independently or separate from each other, it's going to make things more difficult. Especially when you have a partner who is quarantined at home, it's going to make working with them difficult if you're not on the same page. Okay? So here's what I recommend you do. First of all, you and your partners should have already decided how or what evidence you're going to collect, right? Hopefully, you are familiar with or know your partner's email address because of the assignment that we did last week with the calendar. If you don't know your partner's email address, I would suggest you get it from them today. If your partner's gone, come and let me know, and I'll give you their email address, okay? And you're going to need to talk with them online if they're gone, if they're quarantined, however you can do it, okay? It should be fairly easy, just because we're using Google Docs. So when you're logged on during class and you're making changes, your partner can be logged on at home, they can be making changes at the same time. Does that make sense? Okay, question?
So you know how you said working separately?
Right?
What if, well, is this not working separately? So if you guys are on the same track, it's just if you want to do stuff quicker by doing separate things, like if I collected evidence and she, and we helped her type in how to.
I think I understand what you're saying. What you're asking is, how do I define working together? Is that you're doing the exact same thing together at the same time, or can you be working on 2 different things for the same assignment, right?
Yeah.
You can be working on 2 different things. That's fine, and that's why we did the calendaring assignment, is so that you and your partner can kind of plan out how you want to accomplish this, what dates you want each thing to be done by. Especially if your partner is going to be quarantined, it would be nice for you and your partner to split those tasks so that your partner can be working on things online while you're here working with the individual people. Does that make sense? So let's say, for example, let's say you're working with names, okay, or birth dates, or whatever it is that you want to collect. Your partner from home could be finding names of the individual people in the group. Maybe it is that you want to send a file to them, you using voice recorder or something, you go through and you list off each classmate's name, and then your partner at home types those names into a spreadsheet. Does that make sense? So that you're splitting up the work, you're not doing everything. Does that help? Okay. If you need recording devices to do that, you can use the iPads. We can do a memo on the iPad. So you can go through the class list and give them each person's name that's in the class. And then if they're at home, they can start creating the spreadsheet. Does that make sense? Is that confusing? Guess what? Confusing?
What? Oh, kind of.
Okay, how did I confuse you?
I don't know. That's what's confusing about
Okay,
it.
do you know what a spreadsheet is?
Yeah.
Yes, you do? Okay, so you're gonna have to manage this evidence, right? As you collect it, you're gonna need to make sure that whatever evidence you collect from which classmate stays with that classmate, right? So, how many people do not know what a spreadsheet is? Okay, a couple people. So what we're talking about here Microsoft, they call their spreadsheet Excel. It's just one L. Google calls theirs Sheets. Okay? I would use Sheets for the mere reason that if your partner gets quarantined or you get quarantined, you should have that document shared so you can both be typing on the same document at the same time. Does that make sense? And all it is you have this document that has a bunch of columns and a bunch of rows. Okay? Each square we call a cell. And so you could put in here in this top one, title this one name, and in that you write your classmates' names. Okay? So on and so forth. And then every piece of evidence you collect, you add into those squares. So let's say your group decided you wanted to collect height. Then for each person, you would put in their height. Does that make sense? Does this make sense to everybody? What other pieces of evidence do you plan on collecting? Eye color. Okay. So you could put in here eye color, and then you could have blue, hazel, brown. Yeah. Hair color. Okay.
Blue, hazel, whatever.
Okay, and you can put their information in there. That way we keep everything managed. Now what about some of your groups, for your factual evidence, you said scarves. How could you collect the scarves?
Scarf?
Huh?
Did you say scarf?
Yeah, not scarves that you wear,
No.
scars, like a scar on your skin.
Also work.
How could you collect that as evidence?
Where it is?
Okay, so you could describe where it's at. So you could use one of those cells as the scarf. Okay? How else could you collect scars?
What color scarves there is?
Not scarves.
I don't hear scarves.
Scar. S-C-A-R. Sorry, the mask. Okay? You can put in multiples. How about photos? How about taking a photo of the scar?
Yeah.
Okay? Guys, you could take a photo, and when you save it on the computer, rename the file with that person's name. let you know who that scar belongs to. Okay? Any questions?
Just saying you're massive.
I know,
Yeah, you already told us that, dude.
if it's easier.
You already told us that.
Any questions?
Oh.
ow. Oh, I just forgot.
Okay?
How many kids in the class?
I know.
28.
Yeah, that was 27. 32.
23.
68.
23.
Okay.
Did you say 43?
23.
Dang it.
Get with your partnerships, go log on, finish your day 2 documents. If you need help, let me know.